I'd like to thank everyone for your attendance and also for your very kind contribution to our cause. In the coming weeks, you will see a lot of things, or you will read a lot of things in the newspapers. You will see politicians that you've never seen for the past 4 or 5 years, kissing babies, handing out hampers, possibly even sweeping the floor. I've seen photos of a political party, of course not from Mediarakyat, pointing at bird feces in the middle of the road. So this is just going to happen. And what you will not see will be people like Hannah Yo doing good work in Subang Jaya, or me, and they hardly cover what I do. Tan Sri, nothing good will come out from it in the news, because the 13th general elections will be very close. And all I can say is Pakatan Rakyat, Parti Keadilan Rakyat, is ready for change. And we hope that Malaysia and all Malaysians are also ready for change. Why change? I'm sure everyone who's here, all of you do not need any long or need to be convinced why we need to change. But there are some that say, let's wait for the next, not this coming general elections, but the next one, or the next one, or the next one. That, my friends, is called complacency. And we cannot afford to even give one more term to Barisan Nasional. We are at a point, we are at crossroads. We're at a point where if we continue to give one more chance to Barisan Nasional, you will not only see what is now known as Cowgate, where instead of buying cows to feed our population, the people buy condos to feed their ego. We will not only see those kinds of scandals, but many, many more. And our economy cannot sustain this kind of rampant abuse of the system, this kind of rape of our financial institutions in our country. And we don't want, Pakatan Rakyat, Tan Sri Khalid and I, and Hannah, we don't want to come to power when Malaysia is broke. We want to be able to come to power and make a difference and make this country not only good, but a great country that we can be very, very proud of. So this is what Pakatan Rakyat is. Sure, you can read, if you still read Utusan Malaysia, I say, good on you, you have a very, very strong stomach. I have even stopped reading, unfortunately, some of our papers, English papers. I just have no time to do that. What we do now in Pakatan Rakyat, our Tan Sri Khalid, Hannah Yo, what we try to do for the next few months is to try to resolve as many issues and problems as possible. There are many problems that we have inherited from Barisan Nasional. And in 2008, I think when Tan Sri Khalid, when he walked into his office, he almost wanted to turn around and walk back home because it was such a huge mess. But in 4 years, we've tried to clean up as much as possible. We tried to tie up loose ends. And what we also tried to do is to have new policies. We are not here forever, I will not be as young, as cute as I am now. Hannah, in maybe 20, 30 years' time, will be a grandmother. We want to leave a legacy of good policies, good practices, good structures, so that whoever comes and replaces us, they have a standard to abide to or to aspire to. If you look at politics now, politics is about personalities. Politics is about voting the right person. That is not right. I don't believe in that. I believe that Pakatan Rakyat, we have formulas which can make change in a systematic and systemic way. And that's the way it should be. Let's not wait for the right person. There will never be a right person. But we must have a system that encourages good governance, that has in itself checks and balances, so that whoever comes in, maybe our young people sitting, I see some of our younger generation who are in this room, they can come in. They may even join politics. And at least at that time, Pakatan Rakyat would have set the bar for the entire country. I'm very ashamed to say that if we read about Burma or Myanmar, a country which some of us, when we were student activists, we campaigned for 20 years, to free political prisoners, to free Aung San Suu Kyi, to have change in Burma. In less than 20 years, what they've done today is that they have, in some form, free elections. They have amended many of their laws. They have freed most of their political prisoners. They even allow international observers to go to Burma to observe their recent elections last week. And in that atmosphere, despite the military junta in Burma, NLD, the National League for Democracy, which is the party of Aung San Suu Kyi, won all seats except one. Here in Malaysia, Pakatan Rakyat in 2008 won 51% of popular votes in Semenanjung, Malaysia. But we couldn't even get 40% of the seats in parliament. This is the kind of system that is very wrong. You may have heard that on 28th April this month, there will be something called Bersih 3. I encourage every one of you to come, because on 28th April, we are fighting not for Pakatan Rakyat to win, not necessarily for Barisan Nasional to win, but we are fighting for a free and fair election system. And this is something which anyone and everyone with a sound mind should be aspiring to, a free and fair electoral system. In the parliament constituency of Subang, where you are now at, which covers Bukit Lanjan, Kota Damansara, Pai Jaras, it is now the largest, it has the largest number of voters nationally. Before, in 2008, Sivarasa Rasya, who's the member of parliament, had a little bit less than 80,000 voters. Today, there's 120,000 voters. My constituency, Bukit Lanjan, has an enormous leap of new voters, 8,000 new voters, second to Subang Jaya. Subang Jaya has the number one for new registrations. In Bukit Lanjan, we have discovered, for example, people who are still alive, but the National Registration Department somehow has declared them dead and took them out from the electoral roll. There are people who used to vote in Bukit Lanjan, today found themselves voting in the parliament constituency of Seputeh in Kuala Lumpur. Our Tan Sri Khalid, our Menteri Besar, even, my goodness, they even dared to touch our Menteri Besar. From Petaling Jaya, Selatan, now he's voting at Lembah Pantai, which is of course very good for us, because our Nurul Izzah is running there. But what they did is very, very illegal. And these are just some of the things. I have one voter, Tan Sri, you didn't know this, who votes in Bukit Lanjan, and his name is also in the Ijuk constituency. I don't think he's our member, Tan Sri. And these are just bits and pieces. We have asked the Election Commission to clean up their rolls. They have refused to. Why? Because they will want to win by hook and by crook. And this is not something new. They have been doing this for many, many years. What happened in 2008 was that they were too confident, they were too complacent, so they did not increase the number of phantom voters in 2008. They have done that for the past year or so. In Bukit Lanjan, there are 700 new citizens. I call them new citizens because they're not born in Malaysia. They were permanent residents, and whole and behold, now 700 of them can vote in Bukit Lanjan. And Bukit Lanjan is just a very small constituency compared to others like Kota Damansara, Paya Jaras, I think Ijuk as well, Tan Sri. Ijuk, many of them are new citizens. So this is the system that we have to go up against. I believe that Pakatan Rakyat can and will again win in the state of Selangor. Despite all these hurdles, despite all the cheating, I believe we can win because in Selangor we have, I'm quite confident, more people who are sophisticated, who are well educated, and who have experienced the change. And this time, they will continue to support change. Beyond this, although tonight is about Bukit Lanjan, tonight we are also fundraising for the other constituencies in Selangor. You also wonder, how come I'm not giving you all free food, especially the shark's fin? You know, we are not Barisan Nasional. We have no funds. Tan Sri, God bless him, refuses to give even 1 ringgit. I have to tell this story, Tan Sri. It's to show that you're very careful when it comes to people's money. He's very, very careful. He doesn't give money to any political parties. If he gives, he said he has to give all. Like in Germany, where you give money to all the political parties. It comes from the government. But there's a story. My driver told me this, because last time, during the 2007 Ijuk elections, my driver was campaigning in Ijuk. So he's driving his motorbike and I think putting up flags and things like that. So he had to fill up petrol in his motorbike. It cost 9 ringgit and 90 cents. So he went to Tan Sri in Ijuk and he gave the receipt. So Tan Sri gave 10 ringgit to him. And my driver was going to walk away, and then Tan Sri said, "Mana baki?" But that's good. It means that someone like Tan Sri is accountable. And my driver will never forget that lesson. Because now, when I give him 5 ringgit to buy, I like Coca-Cola, so I buy Coca-Cola. He buys 2 and I say, "Mana baki?" And he remembers that. And this is Pakatan Rakyat. You know, we are very careful with our money, we are very careful with your money, but we don't have huge war chests. We don't have rooms that are filled with cash from floor to ceiling, which is what I heard last time, Barisan Nasional, when they gave money to their branches. It's like floor to ceiling, just a room full of cash. We need your every support, not just for Bukit Lanjan, not just for Selangor, but for the whole nation. It is an uphill battle from Sabah to Johor, from Terengganu to Perlis. Every vote counts, every seat counts. Please, my friends, join us in this fight for justice. Join us to be part of change. Tonight, you have a lovely dinner, but I also want to see you help us during elections day. We need every able body out there to canvass for votes, to be polling agents, to be counting agents, and to be ghostbusters for Pakatan Rakyat. So on that note, I hope you enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you very much again. As I mentioned, this is the first of several dinners that we are fundraising nationwide. Please support us, and we will make sure that when we do come into power at Putrajaya, as well as to retain power in Selangor, we will do the very best that we can to represent your interests and to ensure that justice will be served in Malaysia. Thank you very much, everyone. Terima kasih semua.